Alright, quick test. Cool. So, today I'm going to be brewing up a modern deck, I think. Haven't decided on what yet. Kind of want it to be Time Warp related. I'm super excited about all the new Strixhaven cards that are being spoiled. I've got a few ideas for different decks that I want to work on yet, but okay. Oh, I remember. I was going to go check the Turns Discord to see if anybody else had brewed up an interesting modern deck. I've been keeping an eye on it recently, but I haven't seen anything other than the one that I've been playing with some success. The Is It Turns deck with Arcanist. Not sure why the bot didn't announce this time, so went and did that myself. Oh, I was also interested in maybe playing a Merfolk deck, because I haven't seen one of those in forever. But I don't have any of the cards for that, I don't think. What a coincidence, huh? Good to see you, Kefka. Yep, I'll be doing a box opening soon for Strixhaven when I get the actual product. I've got mine pre-ordered. I made the mistake of taking one sip of water and then realizing I'm incredibly thirsty. It's not my birthday dick record, but thank you. You should wrap the first box as a present. Oh, yeah. It's not my birthday, Reelin. And yes, limited should be fun with the Mystical Archive spells. I just know that there's going to be some jerk that opens up a ton of dark rituals and one gigantic, like, black finishing spell, and it's going to be game over. Welcome, Six Sigma. I've been wanting to brew a deck for a while, and I've had a couple of different ideas floating around. I've not been able to find it. I thought I may have deleted my old Azorius Warps list. I hope I didn't delete it. It probably... I don't know if it had any... Oh, it's had something banned out of it, I think. Mystic Sanctuary is what it was. Yes. I guess I can start with another version of this. Take out the Mystic Sanctuaries. We can run some more non-island things, like maybe a Plains or two extra. I've been wanting to see if I can get the Foretell spell to actually work in turns because of the cost reduction. Six Sigma, thank you for resubscribing for 7 months. Glad to have you as a supporter and mod. You're a wonderful human being, dude. Let's see. Then we do plains. 1 snow-covered plains, I think. So we have 2 total. It's not my birthday. My birthday does not fall on a Wednesday this year. But it is soon. Yeah, I'm thinking about brewing up a new Time Warps list, kind of based on the old one here. I want to get away from doing Howling Mine as a card advantage, like Howling Mine and Dictate as card advantage engines, and I'm trying to think of how to do it. I definitely think a blue-white Teferi based list is the way to go, though. And I don't think Gigadraw's Exhaustion is really worth it anymore with how good Force of Negation is. I have none of the Foretell spells. I've got to have one. No? As Foretold Ancestral Visions? I can try and make that work. That's probably not unreasonable, because that is what has been done for a long time. I was thinking about the... What is it? Not Aldrin's Epiphany, but Behold the Multiverse. Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm a little bit tired. I maxed out on bench yesterday, and I did not get as far as I wanted to, but I'm back to where I was pre-vacation, so... Mixum, welcome. Glad to have you. I'm going to try and make this work, I think. So, Exhaustion and Gigadrow's out. I've been playing an Ancestral Dreadhorde version for a while that I really enjoyed, Phoenix. If you haven't tried that, I'd recommend it. Old Border Remands, Wastes, and a pair of Eliminates. Nice. Let's see. Let's see what we're doing here. Ancestral. I've got some somewhere. Switched out some Old Border Paths and Dismembers. No foils, though. Still, I really like that they brought back the old borders for stuff. A lot of them look really, really nice. Let's see. We have no 2-drops in this deck at all. I've got to do something about that. Yes, I do, Phoenix. Because Silence becomes a 1-mana Time Warp. And I really, really enjoy that interaction. You just silence them at their upkeep and they can't do anything about it. Let me take a look at the metagame really quick. Or at least what Goldfish thinks the metagame is. Heliod Company, Jund Death Shadow, Amulet Titan, Blitz, Tron, Death and Taxes, Control. I guess Behold the Multiverse is something to do on turn 2. What are you asking, Phoenix? I'm sorry. Basic Land Shark. Thank you. And it's not my birthday. Glad to have you. I mean, I like As Foretold better in decks that I can, like, play a Planeswalker and a Warp in the same turn. If I'm playing As Foretold, I can play Savor the Moment. That's reasonable. I could play Blue-White Narset, actually. It's been a long time since I've played that. I am a Drian. Thank you for following. You're a wonderful human being, and I appreciate the support. Yeah, let's get a little janky with this. Maybe Behold the Multiverse is not the way to go. I could play a list that looks more like this. Yeah, Narset Transcendent I actually do like as a Planeswalker. The -2, like, reverberating a Time Warp is amazing. Or rebounding, I mean, not reverberating. Thank you, Tarek. That's very kind of you. I feel like I am forgetting something very important as I look at this list. But nothing is, like, jumping out at me like, hey, you forgot this thing. I could probably go down to 23 lands, actually. We're trying to play without Howling Mine. I started with a Howling Mine list, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to play Howling Mines today. Hopefully. Hopefully it will. I'm going to go down to 2 Force of Negation in the main, 1 in the side. I'll drop a Snow-Covered Island, and I am going to try running Behold the Multiverse. I have no idea if this will work, so we're going to play at least a couple of 2-mans as we're testing it out. Splash for Wrenn and 6. Actually, Team Returns with Wrenn and 6 is pretty disgusting. I mean, the best version of that deck doesn't play turn spells at all. I think we have Wraths in the sideboard. Well, Moto. Okay. Moto is lagging super hard. I might have to restart the client before I even do anything. Restart the client, bongo. Y'all are silly. Okay. How many clippable moments will we have today? That, I have no idea. I'm not very good at predicting that. Alright, I think we've got ourselves a deck. Yeah, it's a little bit top heavy as far as like spell CMC, but I think this is a fine starting place. Alright, Stream Decker should be updated for those of you using that extension. I would like to play first. Yeah, I'll try this. We've got Remand, we've got Force, we have an As Foretold. Let's pass to our second main before we play a land, just to really strike the Fear of God in them. Start Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Opponent starts Goblin Guide. So we do get to manipulate our top deck here a little bit. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks us for 2. Narset Transcendent on top of our deck. Well, I'm not really wanting to draw that right now, so let's go ahead and get a Hollowed Fountain. How brew you do? Brew I do. You too? Pass the turn. How's it going, the last god? Opponent plays a Goblin Guide. Well, this one will remand. We draw another land. Kind of hoping we get an Ancestral off the top. Serum Visions. Alright. We untap, draw Serum Visions, play an island, play As Foretold, pass the turn. Yeah, I'm technically still on call, but it has died down a lot in volume. I know what you mean about work being busy, though. I'm looking forward to. I get a day off at the end of my 2-week on-call rotation, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm pre-recorded, so like I've got videos for several days. I'm just gonna have like my own little micro vacation. Okay, opponent plays an Eidolon of the Great Revel. That sucks a little bit. Opponent attacks us for 2. We draw Behold the Multiverse. So, play a Snow-Covered Island. Let's cast this with As Foretold, take a damage. Land to the bottom. Am I expecting to drop Time Warp from As Foretold? No, not particularly. I want to cast Time Warps using my actual lands and cast other spells with As Foretold. Any spoilers catch my eye? There's a few. There's been a few that I'm interested in brewing with. There's the 4-mana double growth spiral spell that's just draw 2 cards and you can play a land for Simic at 4 mana. I think playing lands at instant speed is actually quite interesting. The Super Prowess 1-drop, yes, it is definitely powerful. So we're taking 4 here. I'm leaving up Force of Negation, because there's a good chance I'm dead if I don't. I wanted to hard cast it, but I will pitch a Time Warp for it if I have to. We'll cast Behold the Multiverse. I cannot do that, Ayame Drian. I have to pay. If you want to cast something with As Foretold, it counts its full mana value. Opponent casts Boros Charm, cracks Arid Mesa, gets a mountain. And the Lightning Bolts. So we'll take 3, but I've got to force this Boros Charm pitching Time Warp. Serum Visions to the bottom, Time Warp to the top. We draw to Fairy and Time Warp. I can't actually cast Time Warp, or I can't actually cast a Fairy. Play an Island. Time Warp. So I'm kind of losing to this Eidolon at the moment. We do have a Cryptic command in the deck that might allow me to survive, but I only have one more turn to find it. Go ahead and Time Warp. The good news is we have a lot of sideboard versus burn. You know what? Sure. Alright. Game 2. So, versus burn, I'm going to bring in Supreme Verdicts. I'm going to bring in Timely Reinforcements. Force of Negation is worse. I think Remand is actually quite bad. And I think I want to cut Jace the Mind Sculptor, even though I have Temporal Masteries in this deck. I could bring in Paths, I could bring in Aether Gust. I think just having the Verdicts is enough, though. I would like to play first. Yeah, this seems pretty good. So, start Island, cast Serum Visions, we draw Hallowed Fountain. I'm gonna put both of these on top. I want to draw both of those. We're not doing anything for a number of turns, so let's hope we don't die before then. Opponent starts Stomping Ground tapped, which is probably good news for us. I'm going to play a Hallowed Fountain tapped, pass the turn. Then we're going to play Island as foretold, and then we'll have an untapped Prairie Stream. It doesn't cost us any life, and then we'll have access to Verdict, Cryptic, or Narset, depending on what we want. We're drawing Time Warp next turn. Opponent plays Eidolon, which barely affects this hand, as in we take 2 damage from this spell and no other. So, opponent plays Bloodstained Mire. Gets a mountain. They play Grim Lavamancer, they take damage. They go to combat, hit us for 2. We go down to 16. Second Eidolon. I mean, that just seems a little bit suicidal on their part. Just a little bit. We draw Behold the Multiverse. Play Prairie Stream. Now I could Wrath. I could actually play Narset and Uptick, and there's a decent chance she survives. I'm just going to Wrath. Yeah, no spell in my hand gets hit by Eidolon. I could... Hang on. Is it right to leave up Cryptic here? Nah, I think we're better off if we just Verdict. It's unlikely my opponent has another Eidolon. Not that Eidolon matters. But I just don't want to take that damage. I could have left up Cryptic and tapped. Maybe hopefully they played out more creatures into a Verdict. But them leading on a burn spell tells me they probably don't have many more creatures in their hand. Alright, looks like they're leaving up Boros Charm. As foretold, ticks up to 2. We draw to Fairy. I'm gonna leave up Cryptic here. I want to draw an extra card. Hopefully to get another land. Alright, it's Boros Charm. So, counter and draw. We get a path, which is excellent, because we can path off of As Foretold on their turn. They bolt our face down to 13, or down from 13 to 10. Alright. Then opponent's skull cracks us. Sure, we untap. As Foretold, ticking up to 3. We draw Serum Visions. Play Teferi with As Foretold. Down tick, no targets. We're really trying to draw a land. I mean, that works, right? So let's Serum Visions. We still don't draw a land. Bottom, bottom. And then cast Timely, gain life, pass the turn. I shouldn't be auto-yielded here because I can still path. Opponent Lightning Helix is my face. Passes. Alright. We untap. If we draw a land here, that's the God draw. There it is. So play a land. Uptick to Fairy. Cast Narset with As Foretold. Activate Rebound mode. Then Time Warp, target ourself. So this is actually just Time Stretch. And this is what we were looking for. Alright, we untap. Time Warp coming off of Rebound. Time Warp ourself. As Foretold ticks up to 5. We draw an island. Uptick to Fairy. Uptick Narset. Draw Temporal Mastery. Play a snow-covered island. I can't cast anything else, so I might as well just Behold the Multiverse. Sure, top. Play As Foretold. Next turn. We untap. As Foretold's ticking up. So you can't rebound Temporal Mastery. That's important. You can't rebound any Time Warp that exiles itself, which makes Narset actually not quite as good here. Uptick, draw Time Warp. Uptick to Fairy. Hardcast Temporal. Then As Foretold Warp. Then As Foretold Serum Visions. We draw to Fairy. Island to the bottom, Ancestral to the top. We untap. As Foretold's ticking up. Draw Ancestral Visions. Draw 3 cards. Draw 3 cards. Bounce nothing. We draw Path. Play an island. Temporal Mastery. Something tells me I should have done this a little bit different. We draw Behold the Multiverse. Alright, pass the turn. I'm going to discard Teferi. We're already holding an extra one. Not even sure how many extra turns we have in queue right now, but there's a few. We draw Prairie Stream. Uptick to Fairy. Downtick Narset. Cast Behold with Rebound. Bottom. We draw As Foretold, As Foretold. Play Mikokoro. Draw an extra card. Okay, we draw Time Warp. I'm pretty sure we have a Time Warp in queue. If we don't, I'm going to look silly. Discard As Foretold and As Foretold. Okay. We untap. Behold the Multiverse comes off of Rebound. Top. Reveal Temporal Mastery. We do! That's exciting, Six Sigma. For those of you that don't know, we're going to be running a silly Moto tournament with, with some arbitrary custom rules. So if you're interested, and that sounds like something you would do, you should totally join our Discord. ! Discord will get you a link. Down tick Narset. Time Warp ourself. Draw an extra card. Sure. Gain some life. Untap. Opponent's had enough. Okay. Well. I'm noticing something, and that is none of the Planeswalkers I have currently in the deck win the game. The only way I really have to win is Part the Water Veil. So I should probably put in a different way to win into this deck. This is actually an okay curve. It's a little bit risky because we're not doing a ton that interacts with our opponent, but hopefully it allows us to at least cast a timely reinforcements. Opponent starts Goblin Guide. This deck I don't think has Colonnade in it. So start Island, suspend Ancestral, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swift Spear. Gets in for 3. We're drawing a Serum Visions. Play Island. Foretell. Pass the turn. Opponent did miss a land drop, yeah. They Lava Spike us. So they have a handful of action. They draw us a land, Ancestral ticking down. We draw Serum Visions. It's better if we draw as Foretold this way. And if I get to 4 mana, Behold the Multiverse, in theory, can hit a Temporal Mastery on my opponent's turn, which could matter a lot. Okay, opponent attacks and attacks. We draw Polluted Delta. So I'm going to double block here and block here. I should probably cut down on the number of fetches in this deck, since we're not doing the Mystic Sanctuary thing anymore. Alright, opponent plays Eidolon. Ancestral Visions ticks down to 1. We draw Time Warp. Now I have to take damage off of the Serum Visions, so... Cast Serum Visions, take damage. We draw a Verdict. Island, Part the Water Veil on top, because that's one of the ways we're going to win here. Suspend Ancestral. Pass the turn. So we're taking at least 2 damage on the start of our next turn. Am I excited by Stern Proctor? That's the white creature that hates on the enters the battlefield abilities. Countering Valakut triggers seems pretty sick. I mean, it counters your own bounce land triggers if you want to do something crazy like that, too. Cast Behold the Multiverse. Opponent Boros charms us. So we're going to 5, and in reality what that means is we're going to 3. You know what? I'm actually going to put both of these at the bottom. I shouldn't have put Part of the Water Veil on top. We get a Cryptic. Untap. We need to draw, I think, another Prairie Stream. I can fetch for a Prairie Stream, but that means I'm going to 2. Well, I can play a land and Time Warp for a redraw. And I think I'm going to do that. We basically have to start walking here anyway if we want to live. I'm going to discard Hollowed Fountain. And I think this... No, I need the Time Warp. I'm going to discard As for Toll. I'm going to discard Cryptic, actually. So we untap. We draw Ancestral. Play Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Get Prairie Stream. So this way we have 2 white mana. Visions. Time Warp. We untap. Yeah, I actually can't cast Temporal Mastery here. Because if I do, I die to Eidolon. So I have to cast Supreme Verdict. But I think I'm just dead. And I think I made a mistake. There's no way my opponent, who missed several land drops, is doesn't have action they can play on too. Opponent plays a Wooded Foothills. And Boros charms us. Okay. Yeah, this deck does not win fast enough. Like, As Foretold, I think works better in the red list because of the lightning bolts and stuff that you can cast. Like, just for reference, this is the other list that I've got that's actually really good. From one of the players in the Turns Discord. But this one's not even playing As Foretold. It's just casting Ancestral Visions and getting back value from Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, what should we brew up now? Any suggestions? I don't think I want to play many more Time Warps this stream, if I'm being completely honest. Could you revisit the Skelemental list that I sent you back a couple weeks back? Whitetron. Illusion Tribal. That's definitely points for the most creative. Let's see. Skelemental. Which Skelemental list is that? The modern control list, the Lutri modern control list, was interesting. That was basically just like modern commander deck. Let's bring that up and take a look at what it's like. I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but I am gonna bring it up and take a look at it. So, the one problem I see with this deck, besides the fact it looks like a cube deck, the one problem that I see with this deck is that Jeskai control decks generally rely on having lots of lightning bolts to close out the game. Like, the ability to just burn your opponent out, and that's something that I feel like this deck's going to lack. But I mean, it does seem like one of every good control card that exists in Modern. Also, Omen of the Sea and Snapcaster Mage in the same deck is a little bit awkward. Why are we main decking Confounding Conundrum? I always know it's way too late if I'm up when you're streaming. Well, I started streaming like an hour and a half early. I'm not trying to like criticize the idea of the deck. I'm just like trying to spot any inconsistencies that maybe we can shore up before I play it. Because it does look like fun. Hey Sissia, how's it going? Mixum sent me a Lutri control list, and so I'm thinking about playing it. For those of you that don't know, Lutri is the Izzet companion that reverberates when it enters the battlefield. It has flash. That would be this card right here. So it's each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name. So it would be free in Commander if they hadn't pre-banned it. And when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you copy an instant or sorcery spell you control and can choose new targets for the copy. There's got to be a better card than Omen of the Sea, I feel like, for cantrip. Actually, we could just play Behold the Multiverse instead of Omen of the Sea. I actually think that's probably a slightly better. Censor. Censor is a good call. I like Censor. That's a great recommendation. I don't think we play Confounding Conundrum, but I think Censor could be in over it. Young Pyromancer. Let's see. Deliberate? Scry 2, then draw. Well, that is also a card we could play instead of Omen of the Sea. It's effectively the same thing. It's better in a Snapcastery list. Through the Breach? I don't want to play the Time Warps Through the Breach list right now. I know you want to see me play that one, but I don't want to play that one right now. If it's just Through the Breach, then maybe. I wouldn't mind. There are some repeatable Reverberate enchantments. There's Double Vision and there's Curse of Echoes. You know what? I'll play a 2-man with this. Let's see if this is any fun. But first, I'm going to restart the client. Because it's lagging really bad. Hi, my name is Kano, and I remember the names of all of the meme doubling spells. Honestly, the only reason I remember Curse of Echoes is because it was absolutely hilarious if you could stick it against the control deck. Like the Esper Drownyard control deck. You just like duress your opponent a couple of times, land this Curse of Echoes, and then they literally can't do anything. Because any value they attempt to generate, you get for free. And doubling, or what was it, Double Vision, I remember because I played it a lot in Limited. It was a ton of fun. I played a Double Vision deck that had the triple damage burn enchantment. Oh, it's awesome. Yes, this is Jace's Sanctum. That's the backdrop here. I also appreciate how you didn't go for, say, Pyromancers and such. You know, something reasonable. How about a deck with Training Grounds and cards like Pack Rat? That would be sick. This one. Okay. All right, let's play the blue-red Otter deck in a 2-man. Second Guess, the counter the second spell they play in a turn for 2 mana. That's just what I named it when I put it in Moto so I could actually find it. Yeah, you counter the second spell they play in a turn. I thought it was the second spell a player cast in a turn. Like a particular player, not the second spell cast in a turn. I'm playing Mixim's Lutri the Spellchaser control deck for a 2-man here. So Dragon's Approach was spoiled. Would Thrumming Stone make it playable in Modern? Okay, nothing that requires Thrumming Stone to be good is playable in Modern. I know. I've tried. Start Island. Pass the turn. Yeah, I went live like 50 minutes ago. Yes, Thrumming Stone makes it an instant win. Mono red Thrumming Tron. I have tried to make Thrumming Stone Tron. This is not the first time that has happened, okay? My opponent is apparently on Mono Red Tron. Play an island. Pass the turn. Boros Storm. If that's that Mono Red Storm list with just Showdown of the Scalds, I really don't want to play that. That does not sound interesting to me to play right now. Opponent plays Valakut Awakening. Do you have any other suggestions that you would like me to play? We'll let that resolve. If it is an international player sniper extraordinaire. Oh my gosh. Spell snare that. You just redeemed a whole bunch of stream points, though. We untap and draw a Lightning Bolt. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. You want an incredibly fun deck to brew right after every new release? We'll get Raugrin Triome. And I'm going to draw cards. We get a Censor. 56 new cards in Tarmogoyf. Play a Mountain. Play Dreadhorde Arcanist. Pass the turn. We have Negate still. Opponent plays an Expedition map. I feel like I should counter this. Alright, Raelin. I'm listening. I could see Esper Spirits being fun. Conclave at Dawn plus Skill Borrower. Congregation at Dawn. That's the card you're thinking of. I always try to build Congregation at Dawn plus Descendants Path. It's never good. Do you have an Esper Spirits list, Orfeo? Alright, Cycle Censor. We get Big Teferi. Fetch with Bloodstained Mire. Get a Steam Vents tapped. We untap. We draw it Teferi Time Raveler. Play Big Teferi. Uptick Big Teferi. We don't need more than 2 mana, I don't think. We have nothing to flashback with the Arcanist here. So play Sacred Foundry tapped, go to combat. Nope. You can then congregate for Skill Borrower and 2 creatures below it. Untap, cast Skill Borrower, and automatically have the creature underneath it. I mean... Necrotic Ooze is from the grave, Skill Borrower is from the library, right? Doesn't Goblins get to do this except it's just a win? We untap. We draw Glacial Fortress. Play Glacial. I'm okay with trying that. That actually sounds pretty interesting. I'm down for that. Put Lutri into our hand. Go to combat. Hit my opponent for 1. We're not casting Spell Snare. Pass the turn. Untap here and here. I have Cryptic plus Lutri. Yeah, we have a Lutri. You didn't notice we were playing Commander in Modern? We do have repeat non-basic lands in Loot Tree. Wait, each non-land card. Yeah, we could have repeat lands. We do. Let me think. I think I don't want to cast Lutri for just a flash beater, but I honestly think that's the correct choice here. No value Lutri. We draw Narset. Uptick to Fairy to 7. Grizzlebrand Children of Corliss package. Reuse the combo to immediately draw 7 to 14 cards. I could see that being good. Go to combat. Attack for 4. We're still not casting Spell Snare, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Four mana blue-white Narset in this deck. I don't think this deck needs it. I'm not untapping any lands. I wanted to cast 3 mana Narset. What sounds cool to you, Dry Bomber? I mean, yeah, eventually there will be Railin. That's one of those decks that, in theory, only ever gets better, right? Building the Enigmatic Incarnation pile, except it has the Retreat to Coral Helm, Knight of the Reliquary combo. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a thing. Let's fetch with Windswept Teeth. We'll get a Irrigated Farmland. Untap. We draw a Snapcaster. Uptick to Fairy. We'll draw up to 8. Play Riverglide Pathway. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Still not casting Spell Snare. My opponent is going to repeal Dreadhorde Arcanist. I will allow this. Replay Arcanist. Untap some lands. Pass to my opponent. I could have, Tarek. I absolutely could have done that. So versus my opponent's deck, which is playing Tron threats, I'm going to bring in Ceremonious Rejection. Let's see. So Ceremonious Rejection is coming in. Probably along with Aether Gust, a Braid, Damping Sphere, Tail's End, Stony Silence, Ashiok. We have a lot of things for the Tron matchup. So what goes out in this situation? Spell Snare does not have a lot of targets. So, Spell Snare for 1. Settle the Wreckage is not great. Neither is Supreme Verdict. Flame Slash doesn't go face. You would know your enemy. Typhoon? But Typhoon's a threat, and we do need threats in this deck. Censor is technically never a dead card, but I feel like it should come out here. Take out Behold the Multiverse. Typhoon is bad because we almost always tap out. That's not true. I'm gonna cut Thing in the Ice. I'm not a fan of Thing in the Ice. Alright. Let's do this. We might still need to hit a gigantic Eldrazi. I agree Path is kind of subpar, but it also answers Wormcoil better than burn spells do if they're playing Wormcoil. They're mono red Tron, so they're probably like Stuffy Doll, Blasphemous Act nonsense, but... Start by revealing Lutri. Keep. The local oil baron is still salivating. Wow. Play Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. Wouldn't you want Behold over Factor Fiction? Factor Fiction in general will get you the same number of cards. It is very rare that Factor Fiction will only ever get you one card. It generally gets two at minimum. And occasionally it will get you three, when your opponent doesn't know how to split the cards. Draw a Logic Knot. Play an island. Pass the turn. I could have ran out Young Pyromancer. Wait, they're playing Tron lands and they're completely Izzet. I'm going to leave up Izzet Charm and Logic Knot here. Opponent plays an island. Passes. Untap. We draw Prairie Stream. Play Prairie Stream. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. They play Expedition Map. Sure. Then they pass. We untap. Draw a mountain. Play a mountain. Play Young Pyromancer. Pass the turn. I have no idea what my opponent is playing. They have a Lightning Bolt. Well, I cannot stop this. I want to cast Lightning Helix here. I really do. But something is screaming at me that that is incorrect. Yeah, we're going to leave up like Logic Knot Izzet Charm. Okay, put a Cracks Map. They get an Urza's Tower, reminding me that this is indeed the same opponent. They play Urza's Tower. And they're passing. I could not have countered anything with Izzet Charm. I can, however, counter this with Logic Knot. I still have no idea what my opponent is playing, but it's apparently blue-red Eldrazi Tron with Mystical Dispute in it. To burn the mana and make a 1/1? I don't think that was worth it. The cycling mode on Izzet Charm is actually pretty high value. Are we still commissioning hits on opponents? That was never a thing. I don't know what you're remembering. My opponent's playing what seems like a Kano deck. I don't know whether to be complimented or insulted. We draw Dovin's Veto. Opponent disconnects. So, Hollowed Fountain tapped. Pass the turn. You like blue-red, you play Tron. Yeah, but not at the same time. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks us for 4. We take 4 and go to 15. How long before they get sniped, birthday boy? I have no idea. My mana base actually worked, though. We'll counter the draw spell. Untap. We draw Factor Fiction. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They go to combat, hit us for 4. Down to 11. Alright, on their end step, we'll attempt to fire off Factor Fiction. I suspect my opponent has counter spells. We're going to take whatever pile's got land in it. Dragon Dredge. What am I going to Patriarch's Bidding to get all my dragons back? Opponent playing Cryptic Command, blue-red draw. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I have Snapcaster for Path in theory. And we just drew Negate. So, play an island. Pass the turn. I may have heard of that once, Raylin. What sound does that emote make? Good question, I have no idea. On my opponent's upkeep, we will Snapcaster. Target path to exile. Alright, we path the Thought-Knot Seer. Get your clips, everybody fire up your clips. Imagine a man sucking in a helium balloon, being asked to hold it for 10 seconds, and then getting punched in the spleen. I actually have an idea of what noise I would make in that situation, but I don't feel like sharing. Also, my voice is kind of sore. I think from the lack of drinking water today. Opponent plays their second Tron land. Watch them, like, mind swipe me with all that mana. Gifts Ungiven? They're playing Gifts Ungiven. Alright, we'll negate. Blue-red Giftstron, everybody. With Eldrazi's. Cast a Lightning Bolt. We untap. Draw Ceremonious Rejection. Play a Plains. I'm going to actually just cast Shark Typhoon. I don't get to do this very often, and this is certainly incorrect. Blue-red Tradebinder Tron. Opponent bolts Snapcaster, that's fine. It resolved. Opponent untaps. Cast a colorless threat, please. Thirsts for Knowledge. Classic Tron move. Bolting your dude. You would know, Jamatron. Thank you. Opponent hard cast Ulamog. Well, we have a Ceremonious Rejection. We'd at least get a 1/1 shark out of the deal. The Bluetron guys are willing to try out some stuff. Yeah, I think they are. I've played Blue-Red Tron with Bolt before. Do I Ceremonious Rejection a map? Yes. You're gonna mystical dispute this? You're gonna remand the ceremony. You gotta have that map. Oh my god. We untap. We draw to Fairy. This is so mean. Oops. Mega Shark. Why not remand the map? Yeah. And just replay it. Yeet. Serum Visions. We draw Damping Sphere. I'm about to end this man's whole career. Steam Vents, Shock. Play Damping Sphere. You worked so hard for that mana. They also can no longer counterspell. 6-drop Ugin and 2 of the 8-drops Ugin with Haven of the Spirit Dragon and Crucible of Worlds? What? It can't be a thing. Halfway expect to see a Grape Shot? Yeah, no kidding. You can have the Expedition map, dude. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. Not now. They crack Expedition map. They get an Urza's Mine. They play an Urza's Mine. And pass. We untap. We draw a Field of... Field of Ruin! You put Field of Ruin in this deck! Oh. Yep. This is happening now. Orfeo wants to play an Esper Spirits list, and he redeemed channel points for it, so that's what we're going to do next. Like, literally, the sideboard for this deck was like 9 cards that are anti-Tron. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I would think if they're playing Tron with blue, Azorius would be better, especially because they're running gifts, and the gifts package would just be free. But this almost looks like a budget deck. Like, it's... I haven't seen anything that tells me it's absolutely not a budget deck, but... 1, 2, 7... Alright, so on my opponent's end step, we're gonna go looting. Because now we have lethal sharks. Alright. No, it's okay. I think I would... the only reason I don't want to play the Storm list, Orfeo, is because the deck is the same, but with 1 4-mana spell difference. And it would be cool if it was like another infinite combo to me. And it technically is with the Runaway Steamkin. But that cool part of the infinite combo doesn't happen in the like the average. You still have the draw 3, discard 3 loop with Birgi as like the primary game plan. Alright, so we'll play the Esper Spirits. Phoenix wants to play Through the Breach after that. So we'll start with Esper Spirits here. I'm going to need to get some water before I start playing more games. Alright, so what's in Esper Spirits? Probably Spell Queller. We had somebody like shouting, which sounded weird. I think it was the TV. Yeah, we're gonna need rattle chains for sure. We want probably Skyclave Apparition. That is if I can spell Mausoleum. If you live by the assassin, you eventually die by the assassin. Oh my gosh. Thoughtseize with a T in it. We'll need some Selfless. You know what? Then we'll need probably some Supreme Phantom. Drogskull is good. Some Paths and Push. Probably just... Yeah. Alright. Probably like 2 of each. The only problem with Lingering Souls is it doesn't synergize with the, like, Rattle Chains Flash. How many lands are in this list? Are we Aether Vialing? A lot of non-creature spells for a Vial deck? That's true. Spirits is probably the tribe that I'm least affiliated with. Okay, we can go without Aether Vial. I'm okay with that. Esper Charm? I'm also not very good with Esper Charm, but okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do Esper Charm. And then... like a Phantasmal Image or 2. So we'll need some Caverns. Polluted Delta. Flooded Strand. The problem is without Vial, like... if we're not playing Vial, the instants get worse. The more they cost, the worse they are. So we can't play Cryptic, and Kaya's Guile also doesn't work very well in this deck. Because the only card that naturally has Flash in this deck is Spell Queller and Rattle Chains. So everything else we're playing at sorcery speed. So if we're trying to do big instants trickery, we want to be playing Vial. But we also then want to be playing less non-creature spells. Yeah, Rattle Chains becomes very important. I can totally see that being a thing. So we want to stick 1 Rattle Chains, which in reality means I should probably be playing 4 of them. Which means I'm going to cut like a Skyclave Apparition. Which Skyclave Apparition sort of fills the path and push role, so I'm actually just going to run path or pushes in the main, a couple of them. So we'll do some Watery Graves. We need some Hollowed Fountains. Basilica Bellhaunt. Four mana, 3/4. Your opponent discards a card and you gain life. It doesn't have reach though. It's not. It's pretty close to Rhino, but it's not quite. 22 to 23 lands is the count. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Swamp Island Plains. We have Cavern. I'm not too worried about double white. The request was to play Esper Spirits. Obsidat is a card. Hang on. I don't think we're gonna be able to stick auras onto creatures here. I know we have hexproof because of Drog Skull Captain, but we should be winning the game long before Staggering Insight gains us any value. It is a spirit. It's 5 mana. It's hard to kill. I can tell you it won't work in Modern. Not without a dedicated hexproof deck. Like, you could play Esper or Bant Boggles with it, kind of a deal. You know what? If it's not too expensive, we can do an Obsidat. And then... we need one Godless Shrine. Okay. So sideboard. I recently saw people playing Obsidat Reanimator. Like, that was with Goryo's Vengeance. Okay, we need some sideboard options for this deck. Probably can throw the third or the fourth Skyclave into the side pretty easily. We can put some Paths to Exile into the side. That is when I can find the ones that I have. Let's do quantity 1 or more. Yep. Unearth. I can get behind Unearth. Man, I wonder if we should just play an Unearth in the main. That seems like a lot of fun. Mystical Dispute? That's reasonable. I'm going to go down to 3 Supreme Phantom, and I'm going to play an Unearth in the main. Mystical Dispute out of the side. Oh yes, Ashiok is good. So, saying go down to 1 Thoughtseize and put the Phantom back? That's probably reasonable. I could see cutting a little bit on the hand hate plan, just to run the full playset of 2 Mana Lords. Um, 3 mana to Fairy in the board? Yeah, that's also pretty mean. Add 1 hand hate to the board. Okay, yeah. We need some kind of grave hate, I think. Well, Ashiok counts as part of it, but... Oh, Brutality is a good call. Rest in peace. I think... Eidolon of Rhetoric and Spirit of the Labyrinth? Ashiok might be enough for Grave Hate. Alright, alright. If we're doing this, you've convinced me. We'll play an Eidolon of Rhetoric over 1 Damping Sphere. Spirit of the Labyrinth. Do I not have any? Soul Herder. I'm on your kitchen counter, keeping you company while you prepare dinner. All right, seems fair. Never leave home without Grafdigger's Cage. Well, we're not playing company, and we're not... You know what? Sure. We'll do a Grafdigger's Cage for the last slot here. Probably over 1 Ashiok. Okay. Let me go ahead and get the missing cards. Remorseful Cleric is reasonable grave hate. It's actually not bad at all, but... Alright. This cost us literally nothing. And let's go ahead and take Esper Spirits into a 2-man. Alright, well, we got a good proactive hand here. We can lead on Mausoleum Wanderer and then play into a Supreme Phantom. Man, I want to play a Mindlock Orb deck. Not one where I have to wish for it, but I want to play a deck where it's good. Missed opportunity to play Yargle. I'm going to keep this. Bluetron has Best Wish for Mindlock Orb. Opponent leads on Steam Vents into an Insolent Neonate, which means they're probably some kind of weird dredge deck. I'm going to lead on Island into Mausoleum Wanderer. Pass the turn. They could be discard as well. They could be playing like a Hollow One Jank deck. Opponent goes to combat. In before Grizzlebrand. That would be not fun. Opponent plays an Urborg and Thoughtseizes us. Yeah, sure. We're getting Thoughtseized. Now he's Neo not in the deck. Nice. Opponent pitches Iname Death Aspect. This is definitely a Goryo's Reanimator deck. Watch. Just watch. He's going to reanimate Iname Death Aspect. Get a million spirits into the grave and kill me with mortal combat. Play Flooded Strand, go to combat. Attack for 1. We hit our opponent down to 15. Oh, man. Imagine coming all this way, having a lesser deck, lesser spirit deck than your opponent. Oh, man. I hope that if I lose to something very, very arbitrarily silly. Alright, opponent plays an island. The problem is a lot of the enchantment stack Sissia is not actually good enough to see modern play. Some of it is, like Suppression Field's amazing, but it's only situationally so. Goryo's Vengeance, here we go! I could make him pay, yeah, but I don't think the extra mana matters this turn. Obzadot, He Who Hungers. 3 Iname Death Axe specs. Kuro Pitlord. Demir Infiltrator. And Quadra Bloodghast. Honestly, not what I expected. Alright, the Exile Iname. Fetch with Flooded Strand. We'll get a Hollowed Fountain. Yeah, Quadra Bloodghast is a thing. It's absolutely a thing. We draw Skyclave Apparition. Play Polluted Delta, go to combat. Make them discard a bunch of cards? They have 3 cards in hand. They're going to keep the card that matters. Kano reads the cards in disbelief, bingo. Alright, pass to my opponent. I'm hoping Spell Queller is going to get whatever happens here. Opponent gets back 4 Bloodghasts. Thought sees me again. We'll counter the Thought Seize. I've still got Bori Barigmos, but not Enraged on my bingo sheet. Should ask OP for a list. I'm interested. Are we being haunted? Kind of feels like it. Alright. We exile Thoughtseize. We're being out-janked by someone. I haven't seen it at this level before. Lightning Axe? How do you have the perfect removal for this? Opponent is now hellbent. I'm not making him pay. We need the creature. They take Esper Charm. Okay, that's reasonable. We untap. We draw Supreme Phantom. That does give us a reasonable blocker. Play Supreme Phantom. Pass the turn. Not attacking here. Maybe I should have, actually. Yeah, I definitely should have. I should have attacked there. Because now I have to do this. OP has yet to witness our legendary actual sideboard card strategy. Oh no, what is this? Collective Brutality? That was a good top deck. What did you miss so far? You missed a bunch of shenanigans. That's what you missed. Play Hallowed Fountain tapped. Play Skyclave Apparition. Exile there. Pass the turn. Oh, what's awful is my opponent is going to reanimate this Obsidat, and we're going to lose. Alright, well, we can at least stop this from hitting us this turn. Okay, we untap. We draw Polluted Delta, which is not what we want. Play Polluted Delta, pass the turn. I think I'm going to double fetch just to thin my deck, because we need to draw anything here. Never mind. We're dead. Okay, I'm bringing in paths. We're dropping pushes. I want the 4th Skyclave Apparition. Esper Charm is not good here. Ashiok is coming in, so is Cage. Thoughtseize can probably go out. Cage does work here, yeah. Alright, we'll try it like this. What's this about Skull Clamp? Yeah, Languish is the board wipe of choice. Or Terminus. Hollowed Burial. Clamp is definitely banned in Modern. I think Six Sigma was just making a joke about Cube. I think that was a kind of an inside joke. Because I have opinions about Skull Clamp in Cube. Alright, I would like to play first. Well, we gotta start Wanderer, I think. I will keep this. Skull Clamp is not that good in Vintage Cube. It's not a good card. It has fringe uses where it is good, but in general it's not good. Start Cavern, name Spirit. Play Mausoleum Wanderer. Pass the turn. Dang it. God damn it, I can't type. We can't see the opponent's chat because chat's in the way. He invited me to hang out with him on his stream and told me he was streaming right now, and I was like, hey, I'm streaming too. Here's my URL because you sent me yours. Oh, I should not be auto-yielded. Why am I auto-yielded? Alright, Blackleaf Cliffs, Insolent Neonate. We untap. Draw Wanderer number 3. Play Mausoleum Wanderer. Pump this Wanderer. Play Polluted Delta. Fetch with Polluted Delta. Let's get a Watery Grave. And Inquire. Opponent has Thoughtseize, Collective Brutality, Brazen Borrower. Well, I'm not too upset about the Thoughtseize. Brutality could actually be an issue, though, so I'm going to take Brutality from them. Alright. Go to combat. Hit them for 2. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays Scalding Tarn, attacks us for 1. Sure. I mean, if they don't Thoughtseize us, I'm just gonna play 4 Wanderers. Okay, they Thoughtseize. Oh, these are cute puppy pictures. They take Wanderer from us. We untap. We draw Rattle Chains. Play Flooded Strand. I think I am just going to Phantasmal Image a Wanderer. Oh, I can't tap for blue for that. This is not a spirit, it is an illusion. Herp derp. So copy the Wanderer, go to combat, get in for 4. Yeah, we're just going aggro right now. Pass the turn. But it cracks Scalding Tarn. Gets a Raugrin Triome. Opponent plays a Polluted Delta. So they do have Brazen Borrower, which they could flash in. They could also Petty Theft. If they Petty Theft the Illusion, they lose out on Brazen Borrower. Crack Flooded Strand. We'll get a Hollowed Fountain. Untap. Draw another Rattle Chains. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent is going to Petty Theft the Illusory. I'm going to Rattle Chains, and we're doing this for damage. We're not doing this to protect the illusion. Although I now could just counter this. I know how to play with illusions most of the time. Hit them for 4. They go down to 7. They get to untap. Well, they crack Polluted Delta. Mix of knows what's up. Okay. Just scared of the inevitable punt. Don't be scared of it. Embrace the punt. Let the fourth down flow through you. Oh, man. Hate it. Run from it. The punt still arrives. Alright, opponent pitches Croxa to Insolent Neonate. Nice. I didn't expect Croxa at all, but that's kind of cool. That's another, I suppose, another way to abuse Goryo's vengeance. Oh. Oh, I love puppy pictures from, like, behind the head where you just see, like, the outlines of their little ears. That's perfect. Opponent Cathartic Reunion. I don't know what they could have at this point, so I'm just going to let them Cathartic. If they have nothing, we have Lethal on board. This is the picture I was talking about out of our Discord. No, look, I love seeing the shape of the ears from the back of their head. That's just so cute. It's almost like you can tell what they're thinking from how their ears are positioned. Alright, opponent scoops it up. In game 3... Maybe I do want the Thought Seizes. I think I want the Thought Seizes over the Selfless Spirits. Let's try it. Why am I playing Unearth and Grafdigger's Cage in the same deck? We'll play Thoughtseize instead of Unearth. Hi, Porter. Hi, buddy. Did you just come down here to see what I was doing? Talon sent me a picture of you staring at the cat. Were you trying to make friends? Yeah. I cut the Unearth. I didn't cut the sideboard card. I cut the Unearth. That Blue Magic guy, thank you for following. Glad to have you, and I appreciate the support. What? What's the matter? Can you show me? If you want me to throw the ball, you need to bring it over here. Bring me the ball. Bring it here. Where's the ball? Well, bring it here. He does not like playing fetch. He's very firmly in the don't take it from me, but throw it game plan that dogs have. To try and like sneak it away from him when he's not looking. We can Phantasmal Image Captain. This will be a success. Well, we have Mausoleum Wanderer, Rattle Chains, and Captain. So this hand should be good. We can do it all uncounterably. We know our opponent does have Mystical Dispute, though they may not play it after seeing Cavern last game. Okay, opponent kept a hand of 7. We draw a Phantasmal Image. Play Cavern. Name Spirit. Play Mausoleum Wanderer. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent's turn. Porter. Oh, crap. Hang on. Where is it? I heard it. Oh, found it. Oh. I have push pins hanging up on the wall, putting something up, and stepped on it to find it. But I heard it hit the floor, and Porter went over to investigate, and I didn't want him trying to pick it up. Of course, it would lead to me stepping on it. Opponent plays Jace. Jace is another way to take advantage of Goryo's Vengeance. If he's in the grave, you can get him back, flip him so you don't have to exile him. We draw a Phantasmal Image. We'll play Plains. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 1. Opponent goes down to 19. Getting lightning axed. So I believe it is time for Rattle Chains. So Rattle Chains on Mausoleum Wanderer as well as Pump It. Okay, we fizzle Lightning Axe. Kano just does play bad decks. Okay, they get back a Bloodghast. They crack Polluted Delta. Brutality? Pitching 2 more Bloodghasts? What is this? Counter Brutality. Opponent loots. He doesn't play bad decks, he just uses it to distract his opponents long enough. Opponent upticks on Rattle Chains. We untap. Draw Inquisition. So, shock Godless Shrine, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Okay, I'm going to flash in Drog Skull in response here. I mean, if they have more removal, this is bad, but they only have one card left in their hand, and they can't flashback Lightning Axe this turn. They play Seasoned Pyromancer and draw 2 cards. They attack us for 2. No blocks. Oh, you know what? I can't play double Phantasmal next turn. I only have 1 blue source. Never mind. No, I still only have 1 blue source. Play Watery Grave. Yeah, but its cavern is blue only for spirits. This is an illusion. So I guess I Inquisition with my last remaining mana. Take Seasoned Pyromancer. Opponent's got Obsidat. Go to combat. We'll hit our opponent for 7. Yeah, it's better when you play Vile. that much is for sure. Okay, we hit our opponent down to 9. So they have Obsidat, 1 unknown in hand. Why not kill Jace? Jace doesn't matter. All my guys are hexproof. They can flashback Collective Brutality, Drain mode, or they could Lightning Axe one of their own creatures. The uptick does nothing. Even if they could ult it this turn, it wouldn't kill us. And next turn, we just Phantasmal Image Drogskull and kill our opponent. My favorite thing about this is that somehow WotC knew to match the only 2 people in the league with an Obsidat. Yeah, no kidding, right? We swing for 13, the evil number. 6 and 13 are 2 lucky numbers for me, by the way. 6, 13, and 15 are my lucky numbers. Can we get Kano to brew Triskaidekaphobia? Oh, man. I would love to brew a Triskaidekaphobia deck, but it's never good. We're getting duressed and drained. Opponent attacks us for 4. They pitched Obsidat. No blocks. Take 4, go to 8. It's because Kano is 13 and an edgelord. Alright, we draw Watery Grave. I'm pretty sure we just killed him here. Oh, did they message us? No, they didn't. Okay. So, Phantasmal Image. I can't... Once again, I cannot do that because I'm dumb. It's not a spirit. Alright, clone Drogskull. Go to combat. That is absolutely a punt. Attack my opponent. Alright. Opponent's deck was absolutely sick, and I would be looking forward to playing that. Phoenix, I'm probably going to turn your Through the Breach 1 into a Moto league for Mad Meta, if you're okay with that. I can tell you that I'm probably not going to be able to make it through more than a couple of games. I'm feeling the lack of vacation. Punt count 113. Oh, man. Sure, you know what? Send me the transformational list. I can look at it here, but I'm probably not going to be able to play much more of it. I'm going to restart the client again, and I've probably got another game or 2 in me, but that's about it tonight. I was hoping to do a longer one after the last stream being so short, but I'm pretty sapped today. It was like a slow play violation because he's just not snapping the ball. So this is Six Sigma's transformational through the breach list that he wants me to play. That I just loaded up. And the idea is you play through the breach, and then you sideboard out everything and you play like Delver Blue Moon. Why is everybody asking for Sigma? He said he's going to go walk the dog really quick. Oh, it's not Sig. I meant to say Phoenix. Wow, okay. Ugh. Oh, man. I'm sorry. I'm like really failing right now. And I can't wait to have my like 3-day vacation from everything. That's going to be fantastic. Do you guys want to see this one in a 2-man then? I was thinking about just saving this for the... I most certainly did not, Raylan. Let's go ahead and... yeah, we'll just run this through a 2-man queue really quick. Oh my god, don't jinx it. I'm not even, like, doing anything crazy. When did you inject the dark side and why not both? I don't even know what that means. Bolt to the bottom, Crumbling Necropolis to the bottom. Pass the turn. Crumbling Necropolis? Opponent starts Sacred Foundry tapped. We untap and draw Scalding Tarn. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Nahiri Boom. It's Nahiri Boom. They got the land destruction. Oh, they're cleansing wildfiring themselves. That's fine. Joke's on them. We play Blood Moon out of the sideboard. And we have an Emrakul. Play Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. But it plays a Sacred Foundry. Untapped. Oh, I forgot. I don't know if I don't know if I mentioned this or not. But this is now an emote, thanks to you guys. When it lands Nahiri, loots with Nahiri, so we are going to Bolt Nahiri. This is thanks to the enormous amount of donated subs from last stream and the stream prior. So everybody can use Big Braino, Kano you Braino. We are playing against Nahiri Boom, yes. It will still be used less than punt. No, I totally understand. So, get a Steam Vents tapped. We untap. We draw through the breach. Play an island. Pass the turn. We'll leave up Cryptic / Snapcaster plus Bolt. We were up to 35 contiguous subs, which is what got me over the, to the next emote tier. Opponent loots away Condemn. Why not get the Triome there? I didn't even realize we had a Triome. I saw a Crumbling Necropolis. That's not a Triome. We're getting pillaged. I think we just counter draw, because if we draw land, we Emrakul. There's the land. Ta-da! Go to combat. Attack my opponent. Do you think the new 1-white Prowess 1-drop has a place in Modern? Yep. Yeah. That card enables like 3 or 4 different turn 2 kills. Hit my opponent down to 3. Sack Emrakul. Shuffle our grave away. Yeah, let's just get him with the double Emrakul. Alright. So we have a transformational sideboard into Blood Moon Delver. The thing is, I think the primary game plan is better. We may want some Brazen Borrowers, because I can see the unsummon being important. But I got a feeling I don't really sideboard here. I'll bring in a Brazen Borrower over a Serum Visions. There's also one that gives prowess to your whole team if you want to build your own Monastery Mentor. Yeah, that's true. Okay, this looks good. We have turn 1 opt. Turn 2 we have potentially remand / lightning bolt. Play an island, pass the turn. The only way this is bad is if my opponent does have boom and bust. Then we might be in trouble. Okay. Well, they did not have boom and bust. Why is Crumbling Necropolis in this deck? What are we splashing with Crumbling Necropolis? Play Sulphur Falls. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Shocks a Sacred Foundry. Tries to Stone Rain, we remand. The original Estrus, thank you for following. You're a wonderful human being, and I appreciate the support. We untap. Draw a Magmatic Sinkhole. Splashing Trickery to make our opponent think we can't afford copies of Emrakul. Play Scalding Tarn, pass the turn. If my opponent takes a turn off to play Nahiri, we can Magmatic Sinkhole. But I imagine they just try and Stone Rain again. Fetch with Scalding Tarn. Get a Steam Vents. Untapped. And I'm going to Valakut Awakening here. I'm going to put back... I got Mana Tithed. Oh, they got me. We untap. Draw a Scalding Tarn. Play an island. Pass the turn. Seth would approve. Opponent plays a mountain. Pillage. How rude. Bolt them. We draw Valakut Awakening. Play Valakut Stoneforge, pass the turn. This does not allow me to hold up Magmatic Sinkhole, but it does allow me to play Cryptic Command the turn after. Which could matter. Though possibly not. Opponent plays Nahiri. Upticks Nahiri by discarding Cascading Cataracts, so they do get to draw. They are representing Mana Tithe. We untap and draw through the breach. Play Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Loots with Nahiri. Sink around Tithe. Depends on what they play here. They play Ghostly Prison. So I am going to try and Cryptic this, I think. If they have another Mana Tithe, then they get us. They did not have another Mana Tithe. Opponent has Boom. Great. Punished for not getting my last Steam Vents. Untap. We draw Scalding Tarn. Play Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Steam Vents. Magmatic Sinkhole. We're going to full delve here. Now we have Archmage's Charm if my opponent casts Bust. And if they don't, we can draw mode to try and draw 5th land. Well, we needed to alt there so my opponent doesn't just Emrakul us. Opponent Cleansing Wildfires themselves. They get to draw. They get a basic. Okay, they play a duplicate Flagstones. Presumably that's what they drew, otherwise they would play that first to thin their deck. Then they play a Ghostly Prison. Well, we gotta counter that. Okay, land. Land. Brazen Borrower. Pass the turn. If we breach, we kill our opponent. Opponent loots. Discarding an Emrakul. There goes like all of our red mana forever. They sacked Sunbaked Canyon to draw a card. Okay, on their end step, Petty Theft Nahiri. We untap. Draw another Through the Breach, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays Nahiri. Loots. Discarding Cleansing Wildfire. It's not unplayable. Like, I think this deck is one of the most reasonable land destruction decks that's ever existed. Flash Brazen Borrower, because we got nothing else to do. It immediately gets bolted. We draw a Cryptic that we can't cast. So we're probably going to game 3. Johnny Vengeant. It says my island doesn't untap during its next untap. Plays a Ghostly Prison. That's annoying. We draw a mountain, play a mountain. Repulse Nahiri. Third Through the Breach. Gonna plays Nahiri. Loots. Too many Stone Rains. Too many Stone Rains. Run it back. I mean, if they have one Ghostly Prison, we can Through the Breach on their end step. And then pay for Emrakul on attacks. Like, we don't have to do it main phase. But I would like to play first. This hand has no defense against a Stone Rain, but is otherwise okay. I mean, I guess it sort of does. We can play out fetch lands, and they can't Stone Rain those. Play Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Sacred Foundry tapped. We untap. Draw an island. Play a Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain. Passes. We untap. We draw Steam Vents. Play an island. Pass the turn. Why no force? You'd have to ask RGNK Phoenix. Opponent does have Stone Rain. Sure. We untap. Draw Flooded Strand. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Flagstones into a Nahiri. Loots. Discarding Nahiri. So we're going to flash... Actually, are we? We're just going to unsummon. Fetch with Flooded Strand. Get a Steam Vents tapped. Fetch with Flooded Strand. Get an island. Fetch with Scalding Tarn. Get an island. Petty Theft. Untap. We draw a Scalding Tarn. Play an island. Pass the turn. Leave up Cryptic. I'm going to play his Cascading Cataracts. They have Pillage, so let's hope for no Mana Tithe. Counter draw. Get a land. Untap. We draw Archmage's Charm. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Ghostly Prison. I think we let that resolve, actually. Opponent plays a new Flagstones. Archmages? We have Archmage's Charm? Oh, you're asking Orfeo. Opponent plays Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. That is super annoying. Alright, we're going to counter it. Untap. We draw Crumbling Necropolis. Play Scalding Tarn. So we have Snapcaster plus Cryptic. Ha! Because she's a Pyromancer. I got that one. Opponent plays Nahiri. Fetch. We'll get a Mountain. Snapcaster Mage. Get Cryptic Command. So, counter Nahiri, bounce Snapcaster. Because this has two targets, they can't fizzle it if they kill Snapcaster in response. This also lets us have Snapcaster for Archmage's Charm next turn. Maybe the sideboard plan should be through the breach. That was what I told Phoenix when he told me he was building this deck, but that is not what he did. Though, I mean, the game plans are reasonable. It's just the combo, if your opponent brings in stuff to hate on Emrakul, or you don't need the reshuffle effect versus mill or something like that. I could totally see it being a thing if it was versus a list you can't control. Because, like, you kind of have to play a sort of control deck. So I can Snapcaster Charm this. That seems reasonable. And then my opponent's going to have Nahiri. Except one way they take out mainboard removal. That's true. Here comes a Johnny. Johnny is going to kill Snapcaster Mage. Well, throw a Johnny in the sinkhole. Alright, we untap. Draw Snapcaster Mage. And I think it just passed the turn. We have enough mana on board. I'm not afraid of a single Stone Rain. Multiple would be an issue. I might need to Snapcaster Magmatic Sinkhole, but if I'm not doing that, I'm just going to Valakut Awakening my whole hand away. Any order. Okay, we get Force. I needed to flash Brazen Borrower. I clicked OK. I completely forgot that was the thing I could do. We draw a Remand. Serum Visions. Draw a Remand. Opt on the bottom. Snapcaster to the top. Play Sulphur Falls. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They're going to Stone Rain Crumbling Necropolis. So Remand. That was a punt. We draw Snapcaster. They're going to Stone Rain Crumbling Necropolis. Now I no longer care. Flash in Borrower. We untap. We draw Snapcaster Mage. Go to combat. Attack for 3, paying 2 mana. Hit our opponent down to 20. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Does nothing. So let's Snapcaster Mage. Target Valakut Awakening. Cast Valakut Awakening. We'll keep Force of Negation, but we're putting back Remand and Snapcaster. Any order. We get Remand, Emrakul, Remand. I mean, that slows our clock by quite a bit, but we're getting to the point we can just Emrakul, so I think that's fine. Untap. We draw a Lightning Bolt. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Attack for 2. Pay for it. Hit our opponent down to 18. Opponent untaps. I mean, we have 7 mana, so if I draw through the breach, I can just Emrakul them. And with this Lightning Bolt, they're down to 15. So they will die to an Emrakul hit. Unless they have, like, Settle the Wreckage. We draw a Flooded Strand. Play Flooded Strand. Go to combat. Attack for 2. No, I don't think we'll be hardcasting Emrakul versus the Land Destruction deck. I really highly suspect that will not be the case. Opponent untaps. Fetch up an island. We untap. We draw another force. Go to combat. Well, they have already blown up a couple of our actual mana producing lands, so if there's exactly 15 producing mana sources in this deck, I cannot cast Emrakul anymore. Opponent is going to Cleansing Wildfire themselves. I think I'm going to remand once just to draw. We get a Mana Leak. Remand again. They play a mountain. They boil. Yeah, that's not going to fly. All right. I think I am done for the day. I really need to rest my voice and drink a lot of water. But they were really, really banking on that boil to get them some value. But dick record. Thank you to Original Estrus and That Blue Magic Guy for following, as well as I am Adrian. Six Sigma for resubscribing for 7 months, and Basic Landshark for cheering 10 bits, as well as Orfeo and Phoenix for redeeming their decks to play. You guys are awesome. I'm really happy that I got to see you guys again. Next stream, I'll be a lot more energetic because this week is max out week. I'm coming off of on call. I'll have time to rest and recuperate before then. And I'm looking forward to our user tournament, which as soon as we have enough entries, we will play. We'll figure out a time and a place to get that done. And I'll try and record the matches, and we'll have a good time. You're all wonderful human beings. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of the support that you guys give me, and this was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing more. So, did you hear me doing my outro and you rushed down here to see if I'm ready to play? He actually has learned. He has learned my outro. Like, as soon as I start saying the stuff for YouTube, he like starts to get excited. He's like, "Oh, Dad's done, Dad's done," and then he wants to play. Hilarious dog. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.